Ravi, welcome to Serbia. How do you like it here?
Dobar dan. I like it a lot.
So it's not your first time?
No, I live in Serbia.
You live in Serbia? Yeah, of course. I've heard of you. So, yeah. How about Serbia?
Good people, but very stubborn. One Serbian, five opinions.
Okay, and what about the sport you do? Are they stubborn here?
Yes, I think Serbians are very strong people. Built genetic, very strong, very talented. The problem is the economy. They think that the Serbian character is very stubborn, is very good if it can go to never give up, because they will never give up. So this is very good quality and character benefit. If we take it to the sport, we can create great sport people in Serbia, like in other fields that Serbia is very strong. Handball, you have champion, and I think that the whole idea of MMA, martial art, it's still young in Serbia in the way of to make it more like professional. The handball, people know that it's more professional, but the whole field as be a trainer also as a martial art professional is still young, and once the government maybe give more budget for it, and when you make competition you earn more money from it, I think that you will see more and more Serbian champions that join the sport and more success as champions.
Are there much interest for your martial art here? Do you have?
Yes, the first time I come to Serbia was only for a seminar with Igor. He asked me to come, and this was about, I think, 8-9 years ago. And people coming from different martial arts to see. Now we have clubs, you can see in Kruševac, we have a club in Požarevac, and we have in Belgrade 2 clubs. So you can tell that people like it and people get involved with the martial arts, so it's very good.
What is your martial art about?
Martial art for me is my way of life. First, the martial artist should be a very peaceful person. That's the first thing. But if somebody step on his toe, he should not to fight back. I come more from a discipline of a warrior. I'm not a fighter. Fighter is the guy that always look for fights. I'm not looking for the fight, but if they come and I need to defend myself, I will have to do it. And my martial art background starts from judo to karate. And actually when I did judo, the thing that hit on me was that judo players don't punch or kick. And sometimes the fight finish in the first punch to your face. So that made me to start to explore karate. And then the thing that disturbed me with the karate, that we don't throw each other or grapple. And then I started actually to do a cross training, what people today call MMA. But in my time there was no MMA. We did karate, and then when you get your black belt and you think maybe now it's the time to do judo. And then when I was 40 years old, I started to study BJJ. And actually it was my therapy.
Not the one closest.
BJJ was, I was already a known teacher, and I traveled all over the world to teach. So for 1 week I travel and teach. And for 3 weeks I stay with my family and I study martial art. So twice a day, morning training and night training, I did BJJ 6 days a week. And then one day I find myself also as a black belt in BJJ, because I start from white belt, and then I start also to teach BJJ. So for me, martial art is a lifetime study. I also look at this like a cross training, not like MMA. The MMA, in my opinion, is too fast. You have to have a good foundation in judo, good foundation in karate, good foundation in knife fighting. For example, now my academy, Anna, because when we create the name Kappa, some people start to call themselves Kappa. So it don't mean that it's the same Kappa or Krav Maga, but how can you say this is yes, this is no? And then you say, okay, this is the style, my way, my academy. And that's why we changed the name to Avi Nardia Academy. And we start also to involve other teachers from other method and to join them to our concept and to mold them into us. Like in this delegation we have A.L. Goldstein, and A.L. Goldstein come from Jiu-Jitsu and knife fighting and tactical training, military background. So he brings another angle to the game. Carlos Newton, which is MMA fighter or UFC champion, he brings his own angle to the game. Because many times we have to ask ourselves also what happens if a knife is involved. Now I grapple with you, but a knife is involved. Of course, the grappling can be on the ground with a knife. So when I start the BJJ, I had 6 tumors, and one after another, every 6 months, I did surgery. And actually, I lost my 2 hands at that time, and I still had to teach. And it's funny because nobody noticed. And as a martial artist, I had to find ways to use my hand or to use other parts of my body and still get the mission done without, start to whining my hands or I'm underpaid. And I had situation that I do surgery and 6 hours after, I'm already flying to some country and I teach a seminar. Sometimes this teach me a lot. This bring me, for example, for some time I lost one hand totally to work with it, and then I thought about the situation and I start to try to teach my students to fight with one hand. So I give them, for example, tennis ball in the hand, because in judo you do all of those grabs. So now I lost this grab. So that brings me to different grabs and work that actually I took from wrestling and MMA guys, wizard, and different styles of hugging that can make you. Also, one of my teacher, I talked with him because I'm teaching BJJ under the Machado, and my teacher is Joe Machado, Professor Joe Machado. And one day I had a seminar in my school, and Professor Jean-Jacques Machado came, and he had a problem in the hand because they have only one hand. And then I crossed some questions from him to understand how he became world champion with one hand. And then you find out that actually we all handicapped in this way or another, and we need, part of martial art is to study to work around your problems and to win. And this brings me from the tennis ball that I start to teach to my students to put a knife in the hand. And if the knife is in this hand and you lean me that way, I must lean my hand on the floor because I'm losing my balance, where judo pop in again, and then you have to deal only with one hand and you neutralize the knife. And I would start actually to grapple BJJ or grappling when one guy has a knife. And then I brought it back to judo and I said, okay, now you do judo when you have a knife. Because now when you go to Ponsenage, how you deal that the knife is not stabbing you. So for me, martial art is like a research, is explore, and I look at this as a game, not as a fight. If you come and you say, you want to play, I want to play forever. Because in a game it's no matter who win, who lose. Because you always study. But if you want to fight, it's different.
One of my favorite stances for stand-up, I love this stance.
Thank you, Mr. Avi.
Is this one?
Stand-up?
It's, for me, it's like
This is the Yal. He's the guy that's teaching the